hoklai mai ona kaevalu ona kuaiwi ona hau maku e ola Hawaii ola Hawaii e ola Hawaii.
Aloha.
I wrote that chant, oh gosh, a long time ago now. And in it, the third line is Heloko mai kaika manu o kaiona, and that's why I decided that I'm going to chant that chant because it has the Olano no Iao, right? Heloko mai kaika manu o kaiona, that puts us here in Waianae with Ka'ala and Kaiona. So I want to preface before we start that I am not from Waianae. I am not from Moko'o Waianae. I'm actually from Hilo, and I moved into the Moko'o Waianae in 2020. Yeah. So I feel very blessed to be part of this wonderful community, and I've been learning. So what I'm presenting for you guys today is part of the things that I've been learning, right? And I put it in a way hopefully that, because I know you guys know this, but it's always good to get reminders, yeah? To get reminders about these things. And so I put it in a way that allowed me to learn about them. And the reason why it's important to me to learn about our Waianae, about our historic places, about our Aina, and especially the places where I live and my children live and I work and get to spend time with all of the community members is because we have to know these things. We should know these things because when people come visit, we can then also share those things. Yeah. Okay? So if there's things that I miss, there is things that I miss. I can get because there's so much information. There's too much, right? And she only gave me 20 minutes. So it's okay. But we want to first start right with the Hawaiian Civic. It's about the Waianae makani Coyote, yeah? Waianae is comfortable by the Coyote. So we want to make sure that we talk about all of those things, right? So is there another inoa for the makani? Because I believe that Auntie Hetty told me another makani that visits every so often, and I could not remember the email of that. But it was she told me. So anyway, if you guys think to this right now as you eat, yeah. If you guys hear that name come to you, then please share it, okay? So she said there's the Kaiulu, but then there's another makani that will visit every so often. It has a different feeling. Oh,
Is it a strong one?
Yeah, it's like a stronger.
Hele hala. Is it that one?
No.
Yeah. She does have that.
Well, the ua. So the different ua, right? So in Waianae. So for example, in Nanakuli, the ua is Naulu. Yeah. But in Waianae, this is the ua names that was in the. It was actually from a University of Hawaii a document that says that in Hawaii. So a lot of times you have you'll have the similar or same name of the makani and the ua in different places. Yeah? And so all these ua it's like different kind of ua. Right? So wherever you guys live, if you live in the Akupua'a of Waianae, you might feel different ua. Does that make sense, right? And there's visiting ua that also come. So these are the different names. So Kaiulu's one, Pahelehala, Malualua is really more towards Ka'ala, because if you guys have spent time up at Ka'ala, which I haven't spent too much time, but I have, there's different ua, right, that you're going to feel when you come in, and it comes from different sides. And the Ulalena, I believe, is the one that kind of comes over, yeah, comes over. And so it just depends on where you are. And then, I don't know what the Kumu-Ma'o-Ma'o at Kamaile is. Have you guys ever experienced that one? That's interesting. A Kumu-Ma'o-Ma'o. I thought, that's an interesting name. Yeah, that's an interesting name. So, my challenge to you folks is when you guys experience ua, right? When you experience the rain, to maybe check, maybe see, maybe it's this one, maybe it's this one, because they'll feel different. And a lot of times it will be associated with the Inoa, with the Hawaiian. Yeah? Okay? So that's a challenge for you guys. Okay, so you know what's so great? They do these really great maps. Yeah? These really, really great maps. And so this is actually the whole ahupa'a of Waianae. Right? So we have the three different areas, right? The Waianae uka, Waianae kai, right? And Nualualu. So here's another look at it. And then this one, I kind of like this one, yeah? So Waianae uka, Waianae kai, and then Nualualu. That whole thing is Waianae. And so that's why I said there's so much information. Yeah, that because I mean it's a great big piece of that. One of the biggest ones that I am a little bit enchanted by is where is Lihu'e. Yeah, so Lihu'e is where, according to different sources, is where Schofield Barracks is. Isn't that fascinating? And Lihu'e, yeah, so Lihu'e would be in Waianae uka on the other side. Yeah, and that was actually the place that all of these Oahu Ali'i, high-ranking Oahu Ali'i, that we're actually going to talk about in a little bit too, that's where they had their seat of power. Yeah, and it was part of Waianae uka, not Waialua. Isn't that fascinating?
Ew.
Yeah, so I think that's really fascinating because I was taught at the university at Manoa that Waialua was a seat of power, but actually, that's not right. It's actually Waianae. Isn't that kind of neat? Yeah, because Lihu'e was where that seat of power was for Oahu.
Chihu.
Yeah, so interesting. So, right, with our land leases being, right, coming up, maybe we gotta bring back Lihu'e, into Waianae uka. I would be trying. Okay? So, Schofield Barracks. Isn't that interesting too that Schofield's actually, if you think about it, in Waianae uka? Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of fascinating to me too. And actually we do more studies into the lands that are military occupied. A lot of it is on Waianae side. But that's a whole nother presentation. That's a whole nother presentation. Okay, so we can kind of see even better, right? Waianae uka, Waianae kai, and then Nualualu. Okay. I just think this is such an interesting shape as well. I know it looks kind of like an axe, yeah? Like a cookie kind of axe, it's kind of fascinating. Anyway, I was staring at it for a long time now. Okay, so what does Waianae mean? So, connected to the richness of the anai, right, the mullet, and in the waters of the district's coast with Vai meaning water and anai meaning the large mullet, or sometimes translated as mullet water, right, which is not a bad thing, right, because it's named Waianae, yeah, just like we see Waikiki, Waipio, Waipahu, yeah, that's Waipahu, yeah, Waikele, Waimea, right? What is the reason why we have all of these Inoa Aina, right? These names of Aina start with Wai.
Water.
Because it's about the water, right? It's about the water. And if it's Waianae, what does that mean? It was plentiful of Anai, which to me means that Waianae was always an Aina Momona. Yeah, an Aina that would give you food. Yes, Mapopo, you understand, right? And we need, I think, as a community, right, to get land back and bring that back. Does that make sense, right? That's our together. That's our together, right? Because Waianae. Okay. And then right, the abundance of the fish. And then it was also this large fish pond in Puehu was actually also, I believe, called Waianae. So that really makes sense to me too, because when the anai, right, the anai, the mullet, it would not only go around the islands of Oahu and visit the different local different fish ponds, it would go through the island. Yeah, isn't that kind of cool? So there was definitely a way that the anai in Puapa is in what most people call Hawaii Kai, but we call it Mauna Lua. Yes, Mauna Lua is the original name. They had the largest fish pond called Puapa in the whole Polynesian, Pacific Ocean, over 500 acres. And now you got a Costco in the middle of it. No, like for real, that's not my copyright. Like, but it's true. Yeah, it's true. Mahalo. Henry J. Kaiser, right? Away. You guys, just on side note, right? Hawaii Kai is from Hawaii Kaiser. Did you guys know that? That's why we don't say Hawaii Kai, because it actually means Hawaii Kaiser. So we say Mauna Lua. Yeah? Everybody say Mauna Lua.
Mauna Lua.
Take that land back, right? Yeah, right? That land, that Mauna Lua. It's not Hawaii Kai, it's Mauna Lua. And so, it's a whole other presentation again, but Kuapa was over 500. And what we have to understand that there's a blind mullet. Did you guys know that? There's blind mullet. They were white and blind. And they would actually lead the other mullet through the aina. Yeah, through the channel, through the underwater lava tubes. Right? And they would go to the different fish ponds. Right. So can you imagine, right? We probably had a night that came around, and we probably had a night that went through. And why would they come to Waianae? Because probably the light was Ono. Think about it that way, right? Because if you and right, if you want fish, you're not going to go to a bite that's dead, right? You're going to go to a bite that's come on.
Algae.
So that's what I also believe. If what we need to do is to return the fresh water, right, into our aina to get our vibe back to being momona like it was.
At the entrance and Limu.
Okay? Alright. So let's start Lua Lua Lei. So Lua Lua Lei is kind of a fun word as well. And it means flexible reef. Attributed to a battle formation used by Ma'ili Pukahi. Does anybody know who Ma'ili Pukahi was? He was one of, and we're going to look at where he is in the Mo'oku Auhau of Oahu chiefs. I like to also say, nothing against Kamehameha. Yeah, nothing against Kamehameha. But we have to ho'ohano our Oahu alii.
Yo.
Yeah. And so Ma'ili Pukahi, even though he's kind of in the middle, there's way more before him. I like to talk about him because he was chosen, right? He was chosen actually to become like the overall alii of Oahu. We'll talk a little bit about that later. So he had a battle formation that was called Lua Lua Lei. Isn't that kind of cool? I think that's super cool. Against four invading armies in the Battle of Kipapa in the early 15th century. So that's the battle that two Hilo chiefs come and invade, right? They come to invade Oahu when Ma'ili Pukahi becomes the alii nui, right? And he uses that. I think that's so neat. I just find that really fascinating. And then John Papa'i'i, whose book actually whose information got reprinted by Waianae, which is a group that brings Olero Hawaii and newspaper and all kinds of resources that they just released that book of John Papa'i'i, is Beloved One Spared, relating to a story of a relative who was suspected of wearing the king's malo, who was spared from, why did you do that? From a cruel death. I think that's a strange one because I don't know why. Anyway, and then this is the one that one of our kumu at Kawaihona always talks about. That Lua Lua Lei is an older reference to one of Maui's sisters who went by Lua Lua Lei. Yeah? Nana Kuli's original name, according to this Mo'olelo, is Nana Ikule. Isn't that cool? Right. So, and that's so beautiful, right? So beautiful. Okay. So this is Lualole. Yeah. And look at all that blue, you guys. What is that supposed to be? Do we have those?
Yes.
Some.
Access.
Not all of them. Because unfortunately the army went, or was it Navy? One of them, right? They went actually stop the natural springs, many of the natural springs.
Yeah.
And so we don't have what we used to be made lua lua le so momona, right? Everything. So I really like this map because it reminds me of what is still there. The vai is still there. Yeah? We just gotta help it flow again. Yeah? Okay? Okay, so now we're gonna go to different places that we go. So everybody say Ma'ili.
Ma'ili.
Yeah? Because I kind of handle it when people say Ma'ili. Yeah? But I feel like I kind of correct them because I'm not from here. But
It's
I
okay.
want to, because it's like, yeah, Ma'ili. So if all of us start saying Ma'ili, maybe everybody gonna start saying Ma'ili. Yeah? Yeah. Yes.
In the 70s, it was highway.
Oh, we had a few minutes of Ma'ili.
But now I hear people say it's Maya. It's wanting to go back to Maya. So it's like, it's like that.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. But because there is a Kamaile, right? So we leave the Kamaile there and we have Ma'ili. That's what I think. Yeah. Okay.
How they spell
So that's
Ma'ili.
Pu'ulu and Pu'uma'ili. That's why it's really weird because it is Ma'ili because it's Pu'uma'ili.
Ulehava
Okay.
Pahoa.
Then Ulehava, right, which is still that big stretch of beach that goes from Nanakupu into Lualua Lake, right? And we all know what that is a reference to, yes? No. Ulehava. Ulehava. Yeah, because it's interesting that some people say that's the birthplace of Maui, right? And it also is in reference to a chief, right? A chief that they said didn't have the cleanest people didn't have the cleanest people which I think is very fascinating. Then I heard this other story from someone else who is a archaeologist actually, and she's Hawaii. And she actually talked about Maui having a very enormous ule. That's interesting. An enormous one. So I thought that was fascinating. Oh, shit. Oh, Anike. That's a whole nother story. You're so funny. Okay. And then Pahoa, right? A stone named in the legend of Kamapua'a. So this is, I didn't know this before, until I was doing research for this. I thought it was interesting. So you guys know Olopana? Yeah, he was a chief too. Not on high ranking, but he was still like kind of a little bit lower ranking. And he never liked Kamapua'a, right? But it was his brother who was the father. Yeah. His brother who was Kamapua'a's father actually. And so Olopana wanted to kill Kamapua'a. And so he asked all the kahuna from Waianae all around. Isn't that cool? From Waianae all around. And then, oh wait. You know what ends up happening though? Kamapua'a is supposed to be killed at Pahoa. Isn't that interesting? But guess who got killed? Olopana. So fascinating. I think that's so interesting that Olopana also died in okay. I find everything happening. Okay. Then Hawaii, right, where Kailoi Hill was located, and it's a sacred spring. See, does anybody know if Hawaii is still going? See, that's a good one too, right? There's all this great when we do research and when we talk about the Aina, right? There's all this kuleana that starts to come up like a spring. Yeah, so we gotta go get Puhawai going again, and then Poha, yeah.
Kia.
Oh, Poha Kia is
Kole.
beautiful. You know why? Because when Hiaka comes back, right? So Hiaka visits Waianae. We're gonna talk about Hiaka when we talk about Makua. That's a beautiful story of Hiaka from Makua Valley. But that's before she goes to Hawaii. She stops in Waianae. Yeah, and that's so interesting. I think that's fascinating too. There's all kind of cool stories with her there. Then she leaves, and when she's leaving Waianae, when she's leaving Oahu, going to Kauai, she knows that Lohiao, the lover of Pele, is already make. Yeah, but he's not make loa. You know, there's a difference. Yeah, there's the make, and then there's make loa. So he's not make loa, but he's make, which means his spirit is still here. Yeah, but now she gotta find the spirit. So she goes, finds the spirit on Kauai, finds them. You know how she does that? She actually, when she's coming in the canoe, she looks at the mountains of Kauai and she calls to them to help her find the spirit. Eventually, she finds the spirit, brings her back to life, right? She's the ultimate healer, and then they have to hoi, right? And in her hoi, then her coming back, they stop. Now, Lohiao, her, and Wahine Oma'o, which is her companion, they stop in Waianae. And she goes up. She leaves Wahine Oma'o and Lohiao together, and she goes up and she takes this beautiful, really hot. She notices as she's going all the tracking, right, of the heat from the Aina, and she goes up Puhakia, and what does she see? What does she see? She sees the black clouds burning of her companion. Yeah, some say her lover, some say her closest friend Hopoi, which is a grove of lakewood trees. So she had told Pele, do not touch Hopoi. I'm gonna go do this for you, but do not touch Hopoi. And Pele, you know what somebody just told me too? Pele knew that there was Lohiao was in love with Ia. Of course you're gonna fall in love with the person and bring you back to life, right? You can't help it. You can't help it. Yeah. So Lohiao was already like, aloha, Hiaka knew she shouldn't touch him, right? Because her sister is really jealous, but then away. So guess what she did when she saw that happen? What she did? She hooked up with Lohiao right there. Oh, man, why not? But that's true. It's true. So, you know, you see what I mean? Because she was pissed, right? She was upset. Okay, Poakia. So that's really one of the most interesting things to me about Poakia. But Poakia is in a lot of Mo'olelo. Not only in the Bia. Okay? Alright, then we have Kole Kole, right? Which is a road from Scorpio Branch, which we don't actually say is actually Nikuke, right? Which is actually through the Waianae Range where there is a large storage stone. Have you guys ever seen that stone? Oh, yeah? Yeah. Oh, see, I've never been through the past. It's there. Almost wanted to go when it was open, remember? Sometimes you wanted to go check it out. But, yeah, that's so interesting. Okay. Okay. There's a misspelling now. There's an E, right? There's an E. Yeah, there's an okay, sorry. It's Ni-oi. Yeah. O-E-L.
Ni-oi lua heao.
I think it's actually M-I-O-I. Oh, Ni-oi with an I and without E. Okay. Ni-oi lua. Ula.
Ni-oi lua heao. Heao's like temple in Hawaii.
Okay, so it's located on Holona Ridge. It's been Po'o Kanaka Flats. You guys know what Po'o Kanaka is? It's like yeah, so it's another way to say Luakini Heo. Po'o Kanaka, Luakini is a human sacrifice. Okay? And according to McAllister in 1932, this is probably the hell in which the priest was placed on the body of the boxer killed by Cabello and offered as a sacrifice to the gods that have been very ancient, belonging to Chief Kapuli. Yeah, Kapuli Hava is a great grandson of Maki. Yeah. Okay, then Puehu Fish Pond, which is actually just over the border in Waianae. He, when traveling over the mountains through Poakia, passed also mentions stopping near this fish pond. Writing, the company spent the night at near the fish pond on the sea. Where this pond is located is uncertain. He didn't realize where he was. Yeah, but it's kind of fun. So, and according to Corey, this may be now dried up swamp near the shore. The local area has the starting where overflow from IEV, and Hawaiian streams passing once in March or a million. Oh, that's interesting, right? Oh.
Ew.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Waianae uka, right? Oh. Famed, right? For column. Waianae uka, famed for column, right? So that extensive system, right, where Ka'ala is, and so beautiful. Okay, then Habibi, place of refuge, and also where at the summit a woman called upon the birds to feed her when she was hungry. That's interesting, yeah? Because if we look at the word Habibi, you can actually also think about that as when you when you're starving. So that's kind of fascinating. All right, and then at the foot of Habibi, we're going to talk about the Iyo Puhinalo, yeah, in just a little bit. Okay, Ka'ala, right? Mentioned in there before, the highest mountain peak of Oahu, in Waianae, and associated with the god. And actually, the top of Ka'ala was high rates as a weather first, like Oki'a, with weather first with Oki'a, Lapa, Alani, and other species. Yeah, and the local method, so it's the home of Hawaiian, right? Our goddess of hospitality, and she was a blind goddess, so she felt when people were lost or needed kokua, she would send her great money or the great people out to help them. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so beautiful. Okay. Okay, so actually you can see on the blue. You guys see that? Yeah. Look at all that water. Guys? Yeah. That, it is very important for us to understand that what we see now was not what it was before. Yeah? And that it was human destruction, right? That it's not allowing us to flow like it's supposed to. Because with the body flowing, then we can have animal manna again, right? And not flooding. Yeah? Because if we actually had it flowing, then it would be mitigated. We wouldn't have flooding. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, the natural flow will not allow for flooding unless we have a huge hurricane. Okay, Waianae Kai. So I would just put this because Vancouver. You guys know who Captain Vancouver was? He actually came around the same time as Captain Cook. And his journals on his ship, the people that read the journals, oh my gosh, they put so much information. I always go back to Vancouver's journals because they're so descriptive. So I'm so glad that Vancouver actually came to us. So Vancouver description of Waianae Kai area in March 1793 on the second exploration voyage to Hawaii. He describes village near Mauna Lahi on the west end of the valley with only scattered huts and a coconut grove in the other parts of the Indian coast. Moreover, Handy cites Vancouver described the valley by writing in ancient times, Waianae Valley had an extensive system of terraces along the various streams in what is now forest and water reserve and well down into the broad area now covered by sugar cane. Yeah, so can you imagine before the sugar cane, and all of this, the section named Honua included deeper terraces farther inland belong to the Ali'i Island. Makes sense. Yeah. And then Waianae Kai was abundant with wa'i and king for its poi. Hamakau offers poetic descriptions of Waianae Kai that mentions its reputation for koi fish. The warmth of Waianae, the thickness of the poi of Waianae. Oh, that's beautiful, right? The sweetness of the poi of Kamaile. All of these were loved by the chief Kapuni. Waianae of the gentle island wind, the sweet waters of Eku, and the thick poi of Kapua, the stringy poi of Leano and Kuaiva, and the rich poi of Kamaile, and the aku fish tidbits of Waianae. Isn't that the land beloved of the sun? Isn't that so beautiful the way they wrote about Waianae? Right. Yeah, so I think that kind of we don't get the best version of Waianae in our news, right? For people. And one of the things I want to say, when I moved to this moku, I was so greeted with aloha, you know, and my family that I don't want to move because I feel like this is the most beautiful part of this. Yeah. So I feel like this is what I experienced, even though, you know, well, actually even with the koi and the palo and the people do it, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, yeah, and it's beautiful. Okay, so that's why I oh, look at all that blue, you guys. Yeah. I think it's really important for us to really recognize all of that. That should be streams, yeah. All that, but look at all of our. When you look at this map, if you can, you know what I'm getting at, and come back. Okay, Huiliuloa Heiau, right? We know where that is. Did I get it wrong? No, you got it right. Okay. And Ilio Point, right? With the dog, right? Of Lono Kaehu. Yeah. And that's so beautiful, right? Huiliuloa Heiau was built with pohaku from Kapu Kapu Atea. Yeah, Kapu Atea is in Waialua. Kapu Atea is related to Tapu Atea. Tapu Atea is our main heiau where all of the high-ranking chiefs and citizens will get together and make decisions for the whole, what people call Polynesia today. Yeah. So Kapu was in Waialua. It's actually in the ocean now. It kind of fell into the ocean. But pohaku from there, from Lono Kaehu, who was from Kahiti, yeah, he brought it over to, and then that's how Ku'ilioloa part of that. So you have to understand that our sacred heiau, our sacred space is shared. Sometimes pohaku and things because that would bring all the mana. Okay, then Poka'i, right? Early virgin chief from Kahiti, who brought and planted the new, right? Which is another presentation. Maybe you guys should actually, or somebody from at the talk about the new. As you guys I was thinking about that. Not you, but I think what you guys are doing is great, but as it's coming into, you know, especially on this coastline, yeah, because that's, I mean, you know, actually, you guys makes my heart sad. Sad the things driving through Nanako and driving along the coastline. Okay. And then there's Kamohoali'i or Kahoali'i Heiau that was restored by Ka'opulupulu, right? That's also another heiau. And then, what am I with? I don't know. Me too, but it's good. So I wanted to go check that out because it makes sense, right? Because Kamohoali'i is the shark ali'i that is the father of
brother to Pele.
right, but he's also the father of Nanaue. And Nanaue lived in right? So you know what I mean? So it makes sense to me. It's kind of fascinating. So yeah, now I'm gonna figure out where that is. And I wanted to say that I'm gonna do a thing with Anakala that has the map of all that we are. So when in July 31st for Lago Iho'ea, with Anakala with that. The one that has the map.
Yeah, I think it's Kalania.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. I just said okay, sorry. But he has the map with all the heiau. I gotta go look at that one. Because we do a star thing at Ku'ilioloa. So July 31st, we're going to do a star thing again with the telescopes and stuff, and he brings that map. So, because when you look from Ku'ilioloa Heiau, and you look back at that, that's how I want us to figure out where Kamohoali'i is. Because if you guys have never done that, I think you guys need to. Because when you go to that point and you look back, you can see things that you didn't see before. Are you referring to a Waianae map or a Hawaiian island? Kind of a no, it's just Waianae. Yeah, he actually laminated it. and certain things like that. Yeah. Because that's when I was like, okay, that's Pu'ukahea, right? So I'm sorry, turning around because I'm envisioning being asked, and when you're looking, and then you're going to see Pu'ukahea, right? Pu'ukahea, and then Pu'ukahea is like right here. And I didn't put on this presentation, but there's actually a makali'i, a point on the ridge line that is makali'i. And when we welcome makali'i season, when we see makali'i, yeah, above pu'u makali'i, which is 3 pu'u that way from Ha'ala.
Ladies,
Okay?
for people who don't know the stars.
When we see makali'i over pu'u makali'i, that's when we know we have started makali'i in our yeah, so it's when you're at and you look back and it's nighttime and no moon, you can have moon, yeah? Then you can start to see that our mauna of Waianae, yeah, and our pu'us all correlate with the different star constellations. And it tells us our time and all of that stuff. That's a whole nother and you can come when we do one in December. I actually never know about Kumaile Ulu until just recently. Yeah, which I think is cool. Kumaile Ulu.
Yo.
I don't know.
Okay.
Is it the Waianae? It could be. You see what I'm getting at? It doesn't have to just be one place. It can be the whole thing. And so, it was reported to be a stronghold used during a time of war and was situated at a place named Kavivi. Nearly 915 meters, 300 feet above sea level along the ridge line that serves as the boundary between Macau and Waianae. There you got it. That's where the one was. Oh, we should bring that back, huh? What do you guys think? Yeah. So a major battle involving, I don't know how to say that, chief, a junkie chief. I think his name was Haka. Haka is a not good Oahu chief that got killed. But maybe not because it wasn't during the time of Kahikini. But where this chief of Oahu had a battle in the time of that. Isn't that cool? There's a pu'uhonua. So here is the, so in Ross Cordy's group thing, he has the whole mo'oku au. So I'm just going to pull from Ma'ili Kukali. It goes down. So from Imanuia or Konani Manuia, into Kaikapu Amanuia into Kakuhiaga. So those two, Ma'ili Kukali, Kakuhiaga actually follows Ma'ili Kukali's peace. Yeah, Ma'ili Kukali's big thing is peace. So Kakuhiaga does that. And then what I want to also say is that it goes, and Koli'i is also a chief that he lives over 175 years. It's actually documented that when he was old, over they say that they would actually carry him, like make a nice king, and they would carry him into battle just so that the warriors could see him. And when they saw him, they would get rejuvenated. They said he lived over 100,000 years. Yeah, isn't that interesting, right? So the reason why I wanted to say this is that we have to be ha'aheo about our ali'i of Oahu. Yeah, we have to be ha'aheo of our ali'i of Oahu and how we are ha'aheo, how we are proud of our ali'i of Oahu is by learning about them. Now the other thing is we have to remember that Waianae, the Moko Waianae and Waianae had many ties to Kauai, more than Hawaii Island. Yes? So many of the traditions of Waianae are the traditions and ways of the people of Kauai. Yeah? So that's why we actually don't do the makahiki ceremonies that other people do. We actually, I don't know what they are, but we don't do them. We do the Kauai. Yeah? Just letting you guys know. Okay? You know how they have the Leiniho Palaua, right? So the Oahu Kauai ones don't have the carved mouth. The Oahu Kauai one is the plain tooth. That is the Kauai one. Yeah, I mean Oahu. Yeah. So there's major differences. The other thing I want you guys to also think about is the Lihue area where Schofield Drive is also extends to where Kukani Loko is. Yeah. So Kukani Loko, yeah, isn't that kind of interesting? So Kukani Loko, which is our birthplace of our chiefs of Oahu, right, was also part of one. And that's really important for us to understand. Yeah. Okay? Okay, so real quick, so we're just going to do it real quick on the Ho'oni Napuhi comes in the New Pepa in February 1884, and it's about a puhi. So there's a mother and daughter who goes to the ocean, always trying to fish, right, and everything, or holo, and they never get anything. Until finally, one day, they meet this handsome man. You gotta be careful, you're the handsome men and women on the beach, you guys. Because, you know, because. You gotta be careful. Because I know we are beautiful, right, but sometimes they're not. You know, then they shape shifters, right? So handsome man helps you get some fish when you have hard time getting fish, you know, all this kind of stuff, little bit, ooh, yeah. So anyway, right? So then eventually the daughter falls in love with him, Cabela. Her name was Cabela. And I think, oh, easy to remember because hot. Yeah, she's hot. But she was very beautiful. So they got together, right? And they're happy because they get plenty food from the ocean. And all the men, right, they're all not happy, they're jealous. So they start to go asking questions, starting rumors, yeah, drama. And then one of them goes, oh, then she gets sick, Cabela gets sick. That makes sense, right? If get all kinds of drama around her, she gets sick, she will be. So then her brother goes to a kahuna in Nanakuli, and the kahuna says, that handsome guy is one io, right? One puhi. How are we gonna know? We're gonna know because on his back you're gonna see the fins of the puhi. Yeah? And so they actually lure him. So what they do is they actually create a luau right by Kavivi, right? So which is the pu'uhonua. Isn't that interesting, right? They create the luau, invite him, they capture him. She doesn't want him killed, right? It's this whole drama and everything. They cut off his head. Guess what the head do? Come back on him. They reattach him, yeah? And as they're doing that, his body is moving and creates the Kaoni Napuhi, right? All of the markings that Kavivi is supposed to be that you're slithering and moving with all the markings by Kavivi. And so, unfortunately, he does die though. But it's a very interesting story. But I always think, you know, always in our mo'olelo, it's the handsome woman, man, and the handsome pretty woman. Yeah, we gotta be careful when you go to the beach, okay? Mahalo, everybody.
What is so awesome is
Waianae, Hawaiian Civic. Awesome job. Awesome job. くぶしばった。チーフありがとうございました。お疲れ様です。
There was a lot of research that we put together, and the reason why we have Pikachu here is because we're gonna capture all of this mo'olelo and put it on our website and have it for the community. For not only ourselves, but for our community at large. I mean, just really, we're so blessed that
you are in our Waianae local, and you call this your home. We're just so in awe. How about another round of applause? Okay, so the drill is we gotta put the tables and chairs up. Oh yeah, take home food.
Hello to Auntie and the Waianae Hawaiian Civic Club. Chee-hoo!
Georgia brought some fruits to take home, so help yourself.
See the beautiful members of our Waianae Hawaiian Civic Club right here. Cleaning up, wrapping up. I got you, Auntie. I'll help you clean this up for you. Hello. So we'll be cleaning up, wrapping up right here. I'll take care of this for you, Auntie. I got it. You relax. I got it. I'll take care of it for you. Thank you. So come join the Waianae Hawaiian Civic Club. And I can tell you, this is like 95% female friendly. So if you kapuna, you got nothing to do at home, and come join us here in 96792. I recommend you freeze the grapes. They'll be delicious. Blueberries, frozen is great. Make a smoothie. You don't got to harvest blueberries right here. Tomatoes are great. You can plant those. And we got the ukulele. So Pikachu will play you a song since we got like a few minutes before we got to go. Okay, let's see if I can still jam this for you. That was a dedicated Diction book roll here in Waianae. We'll be wrapping up with come join their meetings. Come join the #1 active area for the 96792. Even though we're including Makaha and Nanakuli as well, you can take home some grapes, take home some blueberries. Oh yes, freeze it so it'll last longer. Beautiful and delicious. Blueberries will be great in the freezer. Make sure we get some of these for people to take home. And they'll be wrapping things up. This is a beautiful meeting. I'm not sure if you all understood what we had on Lalo Vai. Pohaku means rock or stone. People don't know what Heiau means temple. Even though we're in Waianae, the #1 place for the Native Hawaiian population, Kanaka Maoli. And we have a great time with all of you. We have a wonderful civic member, Lily, here, all over supporting the West Side. Aunties, uncles. We have Cranston Duke Pio's father right here for SB 2049. He'll pass the law. We do civic engagement. Come help, join their club right here. We're wrapping things up. We got to close up the window. We got to do shout to all the kapuna, shout to all the aunties without the ladies. Hey, how are you? Long time to see you. You. So everyone's here. So if you don't got food for tomorrow, you take some, make a plate. They got foil. You guys can take some home. Shout out to the Waianae Hawaiian Civic Club right here. See all the cake and kapuna. We even have younger generations in here. And we have the beautiful Happy Face Spider. So how do we say Happy Face Spider in Olelo, Hawaii? Whoa, you're going to have to slow it down. How many nanas? Two nana and what? I. One more time. We got to show. Nana, maka. How come it says Mino Aka right here?
That's the name they gave this spider, but it's not the name of the spider.
Okay, so the official one, Nana.
Yeah, Makaki. That's the name of the species. They gave this spider the name.
Okay, if she can teach you guys, right? See, if we have the younger generation teaching the kapuna and the middle generation, see, we're learning everything today. The future generations are right here. All of you guys come join the Waianae Civic Club. We had a beautiful presentation by Mrs. Shibata and the family. That was awesome, sis. I had to put in some little translations because I know some people don't know what pohaku is. You and I know what you mean, but like, who's Kamoli? Pele, Naliko, the great Chuck, Bishop Museum, with the eel, Puhi's eel, Unagi. So thank you to Kumu, would be sensei, for our teacher right here, for a beautiful presentation with Ohana and family. We know what the younger generation likes, blueberries. Yeah. So we got everybody here. Oh, we got the muscles right here. We got the muscles of the group with Metro right in the house. So we'll be wrapping up here. We have to thank Georgette and Ohana, so they'll be I didn't even know there was Kalua pig in here. I thought this was rice the whole time. Ziploc bag. Why not? Bring the Ziploc bag. They got some Tupperwares. Ladies, take some home. Kapuna, take some home. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Kalua pig, local moco. Auntie, you gotta take some. They got Kalua pig. Put them in a Tupperware. No, you can put some in a Tupperware. Just take them home. Yeah, Ono. That's why it's Pono. How do you spell Pono without Ono? Yeah. So we have to do a shout out to the Kapuna, shout out to the Waianae Hawaiian Civic Club. We got all the ladies here. And I want to let you know, out of all the Kapunais here, you're one of the rare male Kane breeds I see here. We're like 95% female. Good job, you smart. We want to hang out with old dudes, we can be by ourselves. So shout out to the Civic Club, Waianae in the house, 96790, you smart man. She got future ancestors right in her shirt. It's like a LA Dodgers feel. Yeah, you show Otani. Chee-hoo. Yeah, you. So we got everyone here. So we can help wrap things up. Keiki, Kapuna, anything else to go? I'm going to wrap things up. Shout out to all of you guys. And we'll see you guys in the future. Come support. From Keiki to Kapuna, Nanakuli, Waianae, Big Island, Mokoave, Kauai, and everyone below. So we're wrapping up here for all of you. Miss Georgette, any last message you want to close our footage with so they can join your Civic Club, help support you, donate?
So, Waianae Hawaiian Civic Club, we see the normalization of Olelo Hawaii. In 47 years, 3 years we started. And this is part of the initiative to educate our community about our history.
And integrate it.
Yeah, exactly. And so every second Mondays of the month from 5:30 to 7:30 we have our meeting. But you need to kind of sign up and check out our website for that information because we provide we provide food. So we want to make sure that we have enough food. So we want to invite you and encourage you to come and learn all that you can about our place and our space. And it's just an amazing place for us to grow together and build community.
How do people find your website if this is their first time? They don't speak Olelo Vai. They don't know what Heiawa Pohaku means.
www.waianaehawaiiancivicclub.org.
Gee, so you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Follow them online.
Just Facebook, because we all we don't do Instagram, but we also will be having it on YouTube.
Chihu. Yeah, you. Follow them online. We have great kumus, great teachers, great community. Help support the people right here in the future, younger generations and beyond. We love you all. Chihu. Aloha. Have a beautiful night, boys. And join your local civic club. Participate and engage. Only you can change the world. We need more people like you to make the world a better place. Chihu. Yeah, you. May the aloha always be within you, always. Aloha.